With your wife.
Sandra?
I'll hide back here. You have the honor of lighting candles tonight. Thank you. So, great. I did it. One of you reads one paragraph, one of you reads the other paragraph, and then you'll light the candles.
I was gonna, we're not gonna.
Even better, you speak with Hebrew, I'll tell them that.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, why don't you just do the whole,
English, Hebrew, light, Hebrew,
I said English first, then light, then
then the
Hebrew
Hebrew.
last. Okay,
You got it?
you ready?
No.
Okay, honestly.
Can't just plug these in.
Guess what? I see over here.
Keep it on there. That's why. And,
Kind of remember.
and I'll keep you. So we're going with the flow.
I have it. Oh.
Yeah, as soon as he gets here, I can't see.
Person, the police person is not here tonight, so we can make mistakes. He looks okay. And that wasn't nice.
I love working with you.
Right. Shortly afterwards.
As soon as he's ready, I'm gonna
think he
say
said-
one thing to him and then we can start.
Are you ready, Keisha? Okay.
Sandra's gonna read the Hebrew, so we won't chant it.
Oh my. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I am Jean Withers. I think you know that by now. And on behalf of the Board of Directors of the congregation, I want to welcome you to BethChaim. You can't hear me, John? Okay, I'll talk louder. I'm glad you did that, because sometimes I think I talk louder than I do. Before we begin, please note the exit doors on either side of the rear of the sanctuary and on both sides of the balcony. In case of an emergency, please follow the instructions of those on the bima. As we prepare for Shabbat service, we ask that you turn off all your electronic devices. For the benefit of those who cannot be here in the sanctuary, we live stream our services, and our photographer posts pictures on social media. Please see an usher or board member if you do not want your image to appear. And we ask that no one else take pictures during this sacred hour. Large print prayer books and hearing enhancement devices are available. Please ask any usher or board member if you wish to use either. I believe Jonathan Kolb and Neil Fetter are our board members tonight, along with myself. Shabbat Shalom.
Don't go anywhere.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Jean's doing double duty tonight. Our new tradition is to invite any member of the congregation to begin our worship, we hope with words of inspiration, their personal journey at some point along the way with Congregation BethChaim, and Jean has agreed to offer that testimonial before we officially greet Shabbat with music and prayer.
So I was asked to do this maybe about a month ago, and I have been mulling in my mind about what to say. And my husband often says to me, maybe you need to write it down. But sometimes I think when I write things down, they're not always said from the heart. I love BethChaim. That's what I want to start with. This I know in my heart. I have been a member here, I think, close to 40 years. Our children were raised here. They went to religious school here. Our daughter was married by Rabbi Wisnia. Our grandchildren had their baby namings here. But more importantly, this has been my family, my spiritual base. For those of you who don't know anything about me, most of my career was doing hospice work, dealing with families every week. wonderful families, and it was a privilege to do this work. But sometimes you needed to come to a space and just pray and be with people that you love and people that you know. And that's how I feel about BethChaim. My mother was a Jew by choice. She was a Portuguese Catholic. My father was brought up in a Russian Orthodox family. So my feelings about religion were a little eclectic. I felt very comfortable in the Catholic Church with my cousins. And I, of course, felt very comfortable in the temple. My mother converted to Judaism because she loved my father's mother, my Grandma Rose. And she promised her when she was dying that she would convert, and she did. But being a Catholic, my mother, when she said she was Jewish, it was about religion. It wasn't about people. It wasn't about the tribe. It wasn't about culture. So we went to temple every Friday night the way she went to church every Sunday. Never missed. No basketball game could get in the way. Nothing could get in the way. Friday night, we had Shabbat, and we went to temple. We had fish every Friday night because my mother could not, she couldn't give up, she couldn't have any meat on Friday. So until I went to nursing school at Jewish Hospital of Brooklyn with Jewish women, I didn't know Jews ate chicken on Friday night. So it was just, it wasn't until I came here and developed friendships here as our children grew, and we still have those wonderful friendships with many members of the synagogue who are still here, that we all grew up together. And through BethChaim, I actually learned the meaning of being a people. I had a bat mitzvah, I was confirmed, I went on to religious school up until I was a senior in high school. But I never understood the people piece. You know, I always felt, people asked me who I was, I'm an American, and people asked me what my religion was, I was Jewish, but I never connected with being part of a tribe. And when my husband converted about 3 years ago, after being married for close to 50 years, and everybody greeted him here at the synagogue because we know most everybody. They said, "Welcome to the tribe, welcome to the tribe." And I have to tell you, when I first came here to BethChaim, I would not have had any idea what that was about. So I want to say that I love being part of this tribe. And I hope that it's here forever and ever and ever, even beyond when I'm no longer here. And I think that we are all really moving in a great direction in this synagogue, to taking a look at who we are, what we are, and who we want to be. And I hope that you all join us with that and take part in everything that's going to be going on to make that happen. And that's my story. Oh, one other thing. The most important thing, and I forgot, I love the choir. I've been in the choir for 26 years. But there's one person in the choir that's been here since day one with the choir. Anita, you need to stand up, because truly, Anita Seltzers, she is so devoted to the choir. And Joe and Sandy, there are no words to say how they, you know, we're a bunch of people who really aren't professionals except for maybe Cecilia. And I think we sound pretty good, and that's due to Joe and Sandy, and of course our wonderful cantor who brings us one great music and helps us to pray through music. So, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Jean handed me a softball so beautifully to say, first of all, we've had power all day. For those of you who don't know, we lost power at 5 o'clock last Erev Shabbat and didn't get it back until a few minutes before we began worship. So all that we were hoping to do to honor with Men's Club Shabbat and volunteer and installation Shabbat, etc., we needed to kind of put it aside for that Shabbat and just pray and be together. And as much as I would have loved to honor everyone, I have to tell you, I loved last Friday night and look forward to doing that with you periodically throughout the summer. So please look for those Shabbatot. We intentionally, however, with all we were supposed to do last week, decided that we would have choir Shabbat this week so that we could really have the opportunity to enjoy the full breadth of your talent and your repertoire, and again, under Sandy and Joe's leadership, the magnificent spirit that you lend to our service. So thank you for that. And we also have Men's Club Shabbat this week, so an opportunity to do a few things special. Cantor, an opening song. Let the festivities begin. Shabbat Shalom.
Baruch Haba is a song of welcome. Adonai ve'yair lanu yisru chag bavotim ad karnot hamizbeach. אתה ועודיך אלוהי הרוממך. אלי אתה ועודיך אלוהי הרוממך. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו.
We invite Sandy and Joe Pachatti to the honor of lighting Shabbat candles, pages 2 and 3.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, Help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And we invite Mark Perkins to the honor of Kiddush.
Heaven and earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaro lema'aseh v'reishit. כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
We continue on page 6. Page 6.
May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Amen. Page 14.
Sing to Adonai a new song. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Sing to Adonai, bless God's name. Proclaim God's victory day after day. Tell of God's glory among the nations, God's wondrous deeds among all peoples. For Adonai is great and much acclaimed. God is held in awe by all divine beings. All the gods of the peoples are mere idols, but Adonai made the heavens. Glory and majesty are before God. Strength and splendor are in God's temple. And we read together.
Let the heavens rejoice and the earth
exult. Let the sea and all within thunder. The fields and everything in them exult. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy at the presence of Adonai, for God is coming. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly, and its peoples in faithfulness.
Pages 20 and 21, L'chadodi.
לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. שירותי לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכו ונלחם, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה. סופה עשה במחשבה תחילה, לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי שיר דברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לה לה לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. אוי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please be seated as we continue on page 23.
Adonai is sovereign. God is robed in grandeur. Adonai is robed. God is girded with strength. The world stands firm. It cannot be shaken. Together.
Your throne stands firm from of old. From eternity you have existed.
The ocean sounds, Adonai. The ocean sounds its thunder. The ocean sounds its pounding. Above the thunder of the mighty waters, more majestic than the breakers of the sea, is Adonai, majestic on high. Your decrees are indeed enduring. Holiness befits your house, Adonai, for all times.
Page 27. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without God's presence. We rise together, page 26, Hatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועל מה יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, ללמין כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
We remain standing, page 31.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide, of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv arabim. Page 33.
As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
Baruch atah Adonai, Oheb Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך, ובקומך. וקשרת לב על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וקשרת מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, ובשעריך. וקשרתם נאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, ובשעריך. וקשרתם נאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue on page 39.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promised land passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה, זה לי ענו ואמרו, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני. קהל ישראל. והגן בעדנו, והסר מעלינו, אויב דבר וחרב ורב יגון, אויב דבר וחרב ורב יגון, ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו, כי אל שומרנו מצילנו אתה, כי אל מלך רחנון ורחום אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני, שומר עמו ישראל, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים, את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Page 46. We rise together for Amidah.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש בשמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Page 55 together. Excuse me. We now continue on the top of page 55.
Thank you. It's a long walk. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise.
Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat. Page 57 together. Ever-present one, May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored in all lands. You are, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, shotecha levarecha, b'yirah na'avod. Page 56, we continue with Ritzai.
We have so much to be thankful for, and each Shabbat we take a moment to remember those things for which we are thankful. If there is anyone here tonight who has something extra special that they're thankful for, please, in a word or a sentence, let us know what that is. And we'll say together, Modim anachnu lach, we give thanks to you. Yes. Ooh, very nice. Yes. Fewer headaches and fewer headaches. That's good. Yes.
I'm very grateful for all the accomplishments of my grandchildren and that I got to babysit 2 of them this week and I'll have 2 of them next week.
Wow. All right. Yes. All right. Modim anachnu lach,
modim anachnu lach.
I'll do one.
Okay,
53 years with a wonderful husband.
big anniversary. Anyone else?
I'm grateful that you guys have kids so I can have a summer job at
And as long as we're recognizing years together, we just celebrated 35 years together as husband and wife this week.
Excellent.
Choir is entering its 40th year together.
Wow, we're going to talk about that.
Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach.
I have one more.
Another one?
I'm really grateful I got a chance today to spend time with my 93-year-old uncle who went and had lunch together today, and he's still with us and has wonderful stories to tell. I'm very grateful. That's great.
Very nice. Yes. Very nice. All right, one last. Oh,
Sorry.
one last one.
I'm thankful that I got to be part of the choir for the past few months.
Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach.
Shalom Rav, speaking of the choir. Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace on page 60.
Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav al Yisrael, Amcha tasim, Amcha tasim, Amcha tasim le'olam. בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו, המברך את עמו, ישראל
We continue with silent prayer.
לצור לשוני מרע, ושפתיים מדבר מרמה. ולמקד אליי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כפה לכל תהיה אלוהי. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, אדוני, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי.
Friends, let us pause to open up our minds and our hearts just a little wider, to focus them on those who are in need of healing of body, of mind, of spirit. To take a moment to send not only positive vibes and prayers, but a commitment to reach out and to bring strength and love and humor and our presence in order to add God's presence to their lives. If there's anyone on this Shabbat for whom you have a special place for prayer for healing and you'd like to say their name aloud, we invite you to please do so as we make our way through the sanctuary. And to the names already said, we add Megan Mary DePera, Rhoda Schwartz, Arlene Grable, Donald Molaski, Teddy Molaski, Nathan Hecker, Jeff Stoller, Phil Jarvis, Marilyn Fessel, Jan Gale, Claire Meyer, Allison Stadius, Pamela White, William Jackasola, Stephanie Herman, Shimon Bar Miriam, and all who remain in our hearts, whose names have not been said aloud. May they all come to know Refuah Shlema, complete in a speedy recovery, as we continue with our prayer for healing.
רפאנו אדוני ונרפא, הושיענו וניוושע, אל קרוב לכל קורב, אך קרוב לרעיו ישור. We pray for healing of the body body. We pray for healing of the soul, for strength of flesh and mind and spirit. We pray to once again be whole. Hail Narifana. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat ha-nefesh, urfuat ha-guf, refuat shlema. Hail Narifana. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat ha-nefesh, urfuat ha-guf, refuat shlema. Heal us now. Heal us now. הושיע את עמך וברך את נחלתך ורם ונשם עד העולם. מי שברך אבותינו, מי שברך אמותינו, אנא אדוני הושיענה. We pray for healing of our people. We pray for healing of the land and peace for every race and nation, every child, every woman, every man. Hail Narifana. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat ha-nefesh, urfuat ha-guf, refuat shlema. Hail Narifana. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat ha-nefesh, urfuat ha-guf, refuat shlema. Heal us now. Heal us now. Heal us now.
As we invite George Gotti to the Bima, a few words to frame the next prayer. As you know, there's a lot happening in the world right now, especially in the Middle East, especially around Iran and international waters. And those of us in search of peace pray for peace. The hair on our back of our necks begin to rise just a little taller when these things happen. For we know that any moment something unintended could go astray. In our country and Iran, throughout the Middle East. And I don't know about you, but whenever anything happens anywhere in the Middle East, I especially think of Israel, even when Israel isn't involved. Somehow, some way, those who mean to bring anything but peace in this world somehow try to bait Israel to be involved in that part of the world. And so we've invited George on page 259 to lead us in the prayer for the state of Israel, but may this be a prayer not only for Israel, but for all peace-loving people throughout the Middle East, throughout our country, and throughout the world. May they all come to know Shlemut, wholeness, Shalom, peace. Page 259.
Pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
May those who love you prosper. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shielded beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen. I want to give a shout out of thanks to the men of the men's club who helped lead worship tonight: Mark Perkis, Jeff Pretzfelder, Mark Rosenthal, Scott Rubin, Peter Simon, Neil Fetter, Norm Goldschmidt, Jonathan Kolb, George Gotti, and an introduction to the last. As I shared with you, for those who weren't here, last week was supposed to be, among a whole bunch of things, Men's Club Shabbat. And it is a tradition at Beth Chaim, so I've been told, that the Men's Club president gets to deliver the Devar Torah. And so I can tell you, only because Todd was gracious to share it with me, that he prepared an inspiring Devar Torah for last week. Even tied it to Volunteer Shabbat and Leadership Shabbat, as if in that rabbinic thread he put it all together. And then it became Unplugged Shabbat. So when I called Todd and we decided that we would hold Men's Club Shabbat this week, I explained to him this following nuance, which I've rarely had a chance to teach, but Cantor and I talk about all the time. Due to a nuance of how Pesach works, 7 days versus 8 days, Reform, Conservative, I won't bore you with the details. It turns out that almost every congregation in this country is reading from a particular Torah portion. Orthodox and Conservative and in Israel and Congregation Beth Chaim are reading from the Torah portion ahead. So I called Todd and said, you know, you're a busy man. You don't give Divrei Torah for a living. If you decide to just tweak last week's Torah portion, it's the same Torah portion that every other congregation in America is reading this week. I'm sure no one will know, and those who know will understand. And Todd said to me, thanks, but no thanks. He wrote an entirely new Devar Torah for this week. And as I said to him, kidding, earlier, if he does next week, he gets an automatic admittance to rabbinical school, to which he decided to go out of town just in case. With that, it is my great honor, in light of all of that, to welcome Todd Wachtel, the president of Men's Club, to share a few words of Torah with his congregation. Shabbat Shalom. Go for it.
I don't wing it. Because, Gene, that was great, but I'm not a natural like you.
Thank you.
Doing these talks is scary to somebody like me. I mean, all I do is talk to people all day. But, you know, I've done a couple of these talks, and every time I start writing one or doing one, it's like I've done it for the first time, and it's scary. And last week, as Rabbi was saying, I wrote a tremendous Devar. I thought it was great. It was about stepping up in the Jewish community. It was funny. It was insightful. There were some great lines. I made fun of Ken Pogreb. I would have done a Woody Allen impersonation. You would have loved it. Then the power went out, and this is not that Devar. Now, the talk that I'm going to give today is about being afraid. And I was exposed to a good lesson when I was about 9 years old. Because when I was 9 years old, the big deal happened. That's when Empire Strikes Back came out. It's a big deal. I was waiting for Empire Strikes Back. And while I'm Reform at Beth Chaim, in regard to Star Wars, I'm as orthodox as it gets. I believe in the trilogy, and that's it. It's Star Wars, No New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. I don't go in for prequels, epilogue, side stories. I believe solely in the big three, as other members of our tribe believe in not mixing milk and meat, separate plates, and avoiding trafe at all costs. This is because Star Wars got me at the right time in my life. I remain a science fiction nut. It's all I read. The lessons that you learn as a kid are the important ones. And those are the ones that stick with you forever. And that's why we try to get our kids to come to Hebrew school so much, so those stories stick with our kids. But the stories that I learned in Star Wars will stick with me for the rest of my life. Nonetheless, I look at the Jews in the Torah portion for this week and last week and in between as teenagers. Not so much in age, but in maturity, at least by our standards. In the last couple of weeks, they escaped Egypt, they moved out of their parents' house and are on the road to Canaan. They're whiny. They're obnoxious. They don't like the food. They keep asking, are we there yet? And they push back against their leaders. And I just had this vision of Moses just rolling his eyes constantly at them. By the time we catch up with them this week, the wandering Jews, we finally reach the border of Canaan. And God tells Moses to send spies into Canaan to see what the land looked like, whether or not it was fertile, whether or not it was barren, whether or not it was inhabited, whether or not it was barren, if anybody was even living there. So Moses sends 12 spies into Canaan, one from each tribe, on this super secret, cool commando mission. And 40 days later, they come back and report that on one hand, the land is flowing with milk and honey. They even bring back grapes that are so big that 2 people have to carry them. However, 10 of the spies say that the land is inhabited by giants, we shouldn't go in there, it's horrible, we're gonna get creamed. 2 spies say that we should have hope, and that the Israelites could defeat the locals if we ever had to go to war against them. The Israelites, they listen to the 10 nervous spies. They cry out to God in fear. They do a lot of crying out to God in fear at this point, which is very similar in my house when the Wi-Fi goes out. Now, God has been interesting over the last couple of weeks. You know that feeling where you love your children, but every once in a while you kind of look at them and say, where the heck did you guys come from? That's kind of how God is. You know, he loves the Israelites for sure, but every once in a while he sends a few fires to keep them in line. Hashtag parenting, it's complicated. God is so disappointed with the reaction of the Israelites that he declares that this generation of Israelites can't go into the promised land and makes them wander the desert for 40 years. This is long enough for a new generation of Israelites to be born, to be brought up, and this generation was allowed to go into the promised land. It was never about the spies. It's cool to have spies, but it was never about the spies. I have to imagine that God had a pretty good handle on what was waiting in Canaan. It was never about the reconnaissance. God wanted to see how the Israelites reacted. They weren't babies, and they needed to learn lessons themselves. This is what all adults have to do. God may be all-powerful and know all things, but God is not a helicopter parent. By not believing they couldn't go into the promised land, they couldn't go in. And maybe that's what the title of this Torah portion is all about. It's called Shlech Lecha, sent to you. Now, I don't speak Hebrew, but I'm pretty sure if they wanted it to be a report about the topography of Canaan, it would have been called sent to there. Sometimes we have to look within ourselves first before we can move on. Now, I'm not going to say that Star Wars is a Jewish story. To me, it is. Sure, Harrison Ford is half Jewish. Carrie Fisher used to go to Orthodox services, making her the ultimate princess for our people. The uniforms of high-ranking Empire officers are pretty darn close to Nazi uniforms. The word stormtrooper comes right out of the German. So my logic has always been that because of this, Luke Skywalker was a member of the Jewish resistance. And if he was a member of the Jewish resistance, then certainly Luke Skywalker had to be Jewish. Give me a break. I was 10 years old when I came up with this. But Yoda certainly has Jewish characteristics. He's short. He's tough. He kicks booty when he needs to. How Jewish is that? He certainly speaks like he's translating from the Torah. But most importantly, Yoda teaches Jewish lessons. In Empire Strikes Back, the scene that really messed me up when I was a little kid was the cave scene. Now, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but in this scene, Luke Skywalker is in training. He's the hero. And at one point, they encounter a cave. And when Luke asks what's in the cave, Yoda says, only what you take with you. And Luke goes in, and it's dark, and it's scary, and there's lizards, and the music comes up, and the villain, Darth Vader, appears. And Luke and Darth Vader battle with lightsabers, and ultimately Vader's faceplate gets knocked off, only to show Luke's face underneath. What Luke brought into that cave was his fears. The fear of going to the dark side, the fear of becoming a monster, and in the end, Luke Skywalker had to face his fears before becoming a Jedi Knight. The Israelites were also scared. They were slaves. They had PTSD, post-Pharaoh traumatic disorder. They too had to face their fears before entering Canaan. They certainly didn't want to fight in a war where they could be made slaves again. Anyone that wasn't an Israelite was a potential enemy and not a potential friend. God knew that getting over a trauma like being a slave would take a long time. It took a whole new generation of Israelites, ones who had never been slaves, to finally have the confidence to settle down in Canaan. Like so many things in the Torah, the land of milk and honey is a metaphor. I mean, sure, they had cows and bees, we get that. But it was a place where Israelites could settle and grow. In our own lives, change takes time to happen. And it's hard for us to admit when we're scared of something. But dealing with our hang-ups is essential for growth. Over the 40 years in the desert, Canaan didn't change, we did. I strongly believe that every day we need to do something that's outside of our comfort zone. And something that scares us a little, whether it's something as big as confronting something in your life or something as simple as doing a Devar Torah talk, which isn't so scary after all. Shabbat Shalom, and may the Force be with you.
So I have to tell you, Yasher Koach, that as you were speaking, and I'm sure someone else has noticed this, but the name Yoda, the letters Y, D, and AH, in Hebrew Yud, Daleth, Ayin, comes from the root to know. Yoda knows all. And here's Cantor Binder.
Humbled I am. And now for something completely different. So, I have a few words to say tonight about music. Music has been a central part of the culture and the worship of our people since the very beginning. Since before there was a temple in Jerusalem, since before the tabernacle, before even our encounter at Mount Sinai, music has been a central part of who we are. And for the last couple thousand years, there have been Jews spread all over the world. Each community has developed its own distinct musical flavor. So by this time, we have this huge treasure trove of Jewish music and musical tradition that spans the globe and spans history. And it really has been my privilege as your cantor to tap into this rich tapestry of Jewish music, the history and the geography of it all. And I have to say, I'm very, very proud of the musical program that we have built here at Beth Chaim. In this synagogue, we don't confine ourselves to the music of a single community. We don't do only camp music. We don't do only chazonis. We do pretty much a little bit of everything. I speak with a lot of my colleagues pretty regularly, and I actually am not aware of any synagogue that has a musical program as broad as what we have here in terms of the different flavors that we bring to our worship here. I'm really proud of what we have, and I'm also grateful that I didn't have to build it alone. When I came here almost 30 years ago, there was already a very strong musical tradition, a tradition of fine music that was already going on here at Beth Chaim, under the direction of Joseph Pucciani, with the accompaniment of Sandra. The choir here was already making beautiful music long before I came. Over the years, the makeup of our choir has changed, although not all of it. We have had choir members as young as very dedicated high school and college students. It is, for the most part, an adult ensemble. We have some vatikim, some more experienced adults in the choir. It's really open to adults of all ages. And we're always looking for new members. So if anybody here or anybody watching at home is interested in being a member of the choir, knowledge of reading music is not necessary. If you love to sing and maybe want to give this a try, please speak to me or the maestro after services tonight, and we'll be happy to talk with you about it. The choir has they don't know that they're doing this right now yet. I hope you all have Shehechianu queued up. You do? Excellent. Shehechianu is our prayer of thanksgiving. We thank God for giving us life. Now, the most common English translation is for sustaining us, but the word V'kiyamanu literally means establishing us. And the choir, for the last 39 years, has been an institution. So we thank God for giving us all life, for establishing us, and for allowing us to reach this joyous moment. The choir will be taking the next few weeks off for a nice, well-deserved R&R before we start later in the summer preparing for the High Holy Days. So we take a moment now to give thanks. Thank you.
So we're going to join you in standing in a second. I just want to say the following. I don't have a scintilla of musical talent, but I was blessed to marry into a family that has great musical talent and a great love for music, and goes back 3 generations in Jewish music, all the way back to Mannheim, Germany. My wife's Opa, her grandfather, was the chief cantor of 7 cantors in Mannheim, Germany. Her father is a world-renowned composer. So I've been raised by my wife's family to really appreciate the importance of outstanding music in general, but especially in synagogue life. It's why I believe that the cantor side of the bima is much more important than the rabbi side of the bima in leading worship. Only a rabbi can say that. And why I feel blessed truly to be working alongside not only a talented musician and cantor, but one with a beautiful soul that understands what prayer and spirituality and Judaism are all about. And to come to a congregation with a thriving long history of volunteers who give, I know how many hours you give. I know that it's not only services, but the rehearsals and everything, and you're about to go into your busy season. So for every minute that you give, for the love and skill that you give, on behalf of all of us, in the presence of your cantor, thanks to you all.
Thank you.
Friends, we join the choir as we rise together, page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. As we prepare for Kaddish Yatom on page 294, I share this reading that is not found in the Siddur. It was written by one of my religious school teachers. She wrote it after she was diagnosed with terminal cancer and asked that it be read at her funeral. To those I love and those who love me, when I am gone, release me, let me go. I have so many things to see and do. You mustn't tie yourself to me with tears. Be happy that we had so many years. I gave you my love. You can only guess how much you gave to me in happiness. Thank you for the love each of you have shown, but now it's time I traveled on alone. So grieve a while for me if grieve you must, then let your grief be comforted by trust. It's only for a while that we must part, so bless the memories within your heart. I won't be far away, for life goes on, so if you need me, call and I will come. Though you can't see or touch me, I'll be near. And if you listen with your heart, you'll hear all my love around you, soft and clear. And then, when you must come this way alone, I'll greet you with a smile and say, welcome home. Conjures up memories for all of us, those who we loved and can no longer touch and hold and hug, and yet their spirit continues long after their days on earth, that they continue to bring us inspiration and love and comfort long after their days. So as we prepare to share Kaddish Yatom, we say aloud the names of our loved ones. First, those for whom we continue in the 30 days since death, as we recall and invite those who are here to stand as their name are mentioned. Tamara Seletsky, the mother of Ruth Kamen, Cynthia Stein, mother of Adam Sukov, Barbara Goldfarb, mother of Michelle Shapiro. And on this Shabbat, we honor those whose yahrzeit occurred during this week, as again we ask you to rise with the mentioning of a loved one. June Ahrens, Sarah Ben, David Winokur, Minnie Stern, William Bloom, Murray Pelsiger, Anna Cronenfeld, Murray Miller, Stephanie Ethe, Joel Caesar, Samuel Lazarowitz, Laura Josephson, Louis Siegel, Jerome Kropp, Margaret Godleski, Isidore Levine, Bertha Milner, Howard Michelle, Bernard Newman, Lily Tandler, Gertrude Platten, Seymour Siegel, Sarah Lachine, Rose Thompson, Annette Justine David, Floyd Rosenfeld, Harry Baruch Albert, Sidney Katz. If there's anyone else observing Shiva Shloshim or Yahrzeit, your name has not been said aloud, we invite you to please stand and say the name of your loved one. In loving honor of those whose names have been said aloud, those who remain in our hearts, those who no longer have anyone to recall their memory, we stand alongside our mourners as an act of love and support for them. Mourners Kaddish, page 294. Yitkadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, v'almad yivarach Yehutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon of Yom Echon, v'chayed ochol Beit Yisrael, b'agalav v'zman kariv imru. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei al maya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shemei Kodesh. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechmata, tamiran ba'alma v'imru. Yehei shalom rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Oseh shalom b'mamav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to this entire world. Together we say,
Amen.
Please be seated.
Okay. Let's see what we have here. Our summer program is getting started. Sign up now for our summer reading series beginning on the 27th with a lunch and a discussion of the book My Russian Grandmother and Her American Vacuum Cleaner. Join the Sisterhood on Sunday the 30th for a tour of the Rutgers Gardens. Sign of old age when your nose runs for no reason. Sorry. Join the Sisterhood for the 30th for the tour of the Rose Gardens. Everyone is invited to enjoy a beautiful summer day outside, weather permitting, of course, and celebrate summer with an outdoor rock Shabbat service on July 5th. Yay! And after the service, there will be a special onyx celebrating America Independence Day. For more information about upcoming activities, please the signs on the onyx tables and the magazine rack outside the main office. As always, questions about the rabbinic transition can be found in the fact sheets, also located on the ONEG table, when we're talking about the transition that we're going through. And that's it. Shabbat Shalom.
Torah study tomorrow morning, 8:45.
Page 321, an oldie but goodie. Adon Olam.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem ko yitzir nivra le'nasa b'cheptzo ko azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hove ve'hu yeh b'tifara ve'hu echad ve'im sheni le'amshir lo le'achbira beli reshit beli tachlit ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamizrah ve'hu eli v'chai go'ali v'tzorchem li b'tzara ve'hu nisi u'manos li menat kosi b'yom ekra b'yado afkid ruchi ve'tishan ve'ayira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira.
We invite all who are not yet the age of bar bat mitzvah to join us up front. Come on up. It's not a speaking part, it's okay. But there's a big surprise this week. Want to see? Take the cover off. It's whole and no saran wrap. Come on over, you get to hold it. We rise together. You got it? Don't drop it. We exchange it for a new car. Here we go. Please join us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Take a piece. Whoa!
Nice.
She got it! You've earned that car tonight. You can take that back to your family. The rest of us that's up here, we invite you to please put your arm around a loved one, reach out a hand to a friend, reach out a hand and make a new friend. Eternal God, we stand before you in thanksgiving for all of our blessings in life, for the love of family, the support of friends, for the strength that comes from being part of this sacred community, and for all of your blessings and the miracle of your creation. We offer you our thanks and our praise. Eternal God, we invoke your name as we ask that your presence will be with us, our family, our people, and all peoples throughout this world during Shabbat and the days to come.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless us and protect us.
Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's countenance shine upon us and be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's eyes remain fixed upon us. May God bless us and all peoples of this world, the greatest gift God could offer, the gift of peace.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
I wish they would keep that there. My phone's off.
Sunday, not get up until September.
I know it's not going to stay up there, but I'm trying to get it. My phone was off. So I want to get a picture of it. I know. No, I'm just. Thank you.
I know, that's all I have to do, right? That'll be it.
I'm waiting for my phone to warm up. I turned it off, and I want to get a picture of it. I know. Is yours on? I was going to get that right there. I know, and it takes forever to warm up. What's that? Oh, that'd be great. But it's not warmed up yet. That's the thing. I'm just waiting. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I got it anyway. Let me just get. Come on up. He's coming up. Oh, I'd love to.
Ah.
Yeah, the three of us.
Yeah.
Come to this side where you can see.
Is that
Come on in, Jim.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Absolutely. Oh, that's my phone. That's fine. I definitely will. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Thank
Hi,
you.
Flexibility so we
Okay.
can really do it right.
Thank you, Sam. Sam.
I'm sorry? Oh.
Thank you for being flexible so we can really do it the right way.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. How's your hand?
Last week would have been for a real.
Oh my God, I know. I was like, oh. I know when I read that. I was like,
You're not a lefty, are you?
oh yeah, I took it. I didn't realize it was like that big. Nice. Nice. I'm wearing it. I don't know. I guess. Oh, I guess I'm unaware. Oh, so it's sitting on the. Oh, yeah. Gosh, when I put myself in pictures, but I'm so short. I just did a big thing with the three singers, and